Hi, I'm Eric Grant. We're going to show you how to make a cover for a pedestal folding fishing boat seat. In this cover, you just has a shock cord at the bottom, goes on kind of like a shower cap. It's easy to put on, as you can see, and super easy to take off. Ta-da!
We'll be cutting 3 separate sections out of our fabric to make this cover.
The first thing you want to do is you want to fold the seat, and you want to take a width measurement from end to end, and you want to add about an inch.
An inch should be added to both sides.
I'm getting 17 inches. We're going to go with that, 17 inches. This is a fabric called Surite. It is a polyester fabric, and on the back side it has a coating. So this is the underside and this is the outside surface. We're going to cut a strip that is 17 inches wide, and this is a 60-inch wide fabric. So I'm going to, down the 60-inch length, I'm going to cut the strip 17 inches, and the length will be 60 inches. Now that's too long because this fabric piece is going to go from here all the way to the front and wrap around the bottom side. The strip will be too long, but that's okay. We'll trim it after we put the sides on. So we're going to strike a line that is parallel to this side, 17 inches all the way down the width. There's no reason to use a hot knife for this fabric. The edges really do not unravel, so just use scissors to cut it. Okay, so this is the leftover piece. You can get, for every yard of fabric, you can get 1 cover done. So this is our leftover piece. I'm going to measure up 5 inches from the edge and strike a line here. Just a line as a reference, okay? And then I'm going to take this chair, which is folded, and this is the bottom side, and I'm going to put the bottom side on that 5-inch line because I want 5 inches to wrap around to the back side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my clear acrylic ruler and I'm going to mark approximately 1 inch away from the frame, following kind of like the contour. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to come down here, I'm going to strike a line all the way to the bottom edge, and then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to go across the top approximately 1 inch from it and strike a line. So the reason I want it about 1 inch away is I don't want the cover to fit super, super tight, because a cover shouldn't do that because it makes it hard to put it on and take it off. So we want to be about 1 inch from this right here. This is the furthest point out, which that puts that point there. So I'm going to be about right here. That should be good. And we're going to strike a line here. And that means this could be carried over there like that. Now, don't worry about the fact that this line didn't come all the way to the bottom edge and this line would have went like this. No big deal here. This is, again, going to wrap around. Okay, so that's the plate for the side right here. We're going to cut this out and we're going to mirror it. So I'm going to cut it out on the lines. Okay, this is the outside surface that's facing up. So what we're going to do with this one to make this other side is just flip it so that the outside surfaces are facing each other, and we can just position it like this, and I'm not even going to pin it or draw it. I'm just going to cut my second one out with this laying on top. And now we have everything that we need. We have the 2 side pieces and we have the top strip. We're ready for sewing.
Now we'll take one of those sides and we'll sew it onto that top plate. Doesn't matter the side.
Okay, now we're going to hold the panel up to the chair and determine which is the bottom, and that's down here. Remember, that has the overlap. So we want to write on the bottom just a B to indicate the bottom on the inside. This is the bottom, so we just don't get confused. So this is the bottom of our boxing piece, side boxing piece, and this is the bottom of our strip. So we're going to put it on so that the corner matches up here, and we're going to sew it here, and then it's going to flip around. Let me grab it, and it's going to be sewn here and all the way around. So, and the outside surfaces must face each other. So the urethane is up here, and the urethane coating is down here. So we're going to start here. Let's take it to the machine. I like to set my stitch length for this stitch because I'm not going to do a top stitch at about 4 millimeters, and I'm sewing some scrap to test tension because I like to use a Tex 90 thread, and this is a fairly light fabric with the Tex 90 thread, so I have to back off my upper tension because otherwise I'll get a lot of wrinkling in the fabric. So I'm going to make sure that my stitch doesn't cause a lot of puckering and it still looks good. And I've already adjusted the tension and you can tell there's no wrinkling, but if you do get wrinkling, back off your upper tension, maybe even a full revolution or two. I've put the magnetic guide on at a 1/2 inch of the needle plate, and the needle's in center position. Here's the two fabrics laid directly on top of each other with the edges lined up, and we're just going to do some reversing here. And again, I'm sewing about a 4 millimeter stitch length. We're not going to do any top stitching because this is a quick job, and we're just going to sew matching up the edge as we go. And when I get a 1/2 inch from that turn, I'll show you what we do. I might as well do it now. So I'm going to put a cut in the bottom piece because that's the piece that's going to turn about a 1/2 inch from that area, going no deeper than a 1/2 inch, and that'll allow it to take the turn. So let's sew up to that. And I'm about at a 1/2 inch there. Needle's buried, coming up slightly, lift the foot. I'll pivot on that, and this fabric turns. And then now I can lower the foot. And the edges are lined up, and we will sew down this side. And that's pretty much the process. We'll do the same thing when we reach this corner. Now we're coming up to the bottom where the B was marked. There, you can kind of see it there. And what we'll do there is we will just do some heavy reversing at the bottom, and you can see we have extra fabric on the strip, which is what we intended. That will be cut away after we put the other side on. So here I'm going to do some reversing. Right there. Okay. That is done.
And next we'll take the remaining side and sew it onto the other side of the top plate.
This is the piece we just sewed on, and you can tell this is the short side compared to this being the longer side of the side piece. So you can tell this is the short side here. So this is the side that we made even. This is the side that has too much boxing, or I'm sorry, top plate. So that means this is where we need to start this, and that means this is the bottom. So this one gets started right here, and we sew this direction. Just make sure the short side is where we start again. The only thing that's different is that our side pieces on the bottom, our long strip is on top, outside surfaces are always facing each other, and we're going to cut our slit on the top piece to round this corner. That's the only thing that's different. So you can tell we need to put a slit in the top one because that's the fabric that has to bend. So there's approximately 1/2 inch would be right about there. I'm going to try to keep my hands out of the way of the camera. Right there. So I'm going to sew up to that point, and you can see how it turns the corner. It's about right. Needle's coming up, still buried, pivot, and that splays the fabric open. I pull this around to make it straight, and I flatten my fabric at that juncture, lower my foot, so. There's what that corner does when you slit it. It just makes that fabric go around that corner nicely. Okay, now don't worry if this one's slightly higher than this one or lower. It's not a big deal. So now what we're going to do is just take a straight edge from the end of this and cut off our excess so that it's flush. So I'm just going to use the scissors and cut it.
In this chapter, we'll create a hem and insert the shock cord at the same time.
This is the back of our cover, and that's usually where I like to start the shock cord, though it doesn't really matter. And this is an 1/8 inch shock cord. I'm going to take my shock cord and put it about 1.5 inches from the edge, and then I'm going to take my fabric and hem it over approximately 1.5 inches with the shock cord in the fold. And obviously it goes over the edge here, and I'm going to do some stitching here to lock the shock cord in that fold. So let's take it to the machine. Now, since I have a zigzag sewing machine, the LSZ, I'm going to put this in zigzag mode just because I think it works better for that. You can do it in straight stitch as well. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sew my shock cord in. So my shock cord's right down here, and I want to lock this in place. So I'm just going to sew right on top of the shock cord, and again, this can be done with straight stitch. I'm going to do some reversing. I don't want that shock cord end to come loose. And that should do it. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my fabric up to that top of the hem, pull some fabric out like this, and I'm going to put the shock cord in the hem and fold it to about 1.5 inches like that, so that it can move freely in the hem. And then I'm going to put the foot down, and I'm going to sew the zigzag stitch, or a straight stitch it could be, and I'm going to put the shock cord in that hem as I sew, and make sure that I don't sew the fabric underneath. So I'm going to tuck the fabric that is the cover, so make sure I don't sew that in at the same time. And we'll start sewing here. Sometimes what I do is I put my hand in the back and the hand in the front, and then I'll just do this by hand, creating a 1.5 inch hem and feeding the shock cord in all the way around the perimeter. It's pretty easy. And don't think you have to be totally accurate. You don't. The only thing you got to be careful of is sewing in that fabric underneath. So you got to make sure this is pushed out of the way. Okay, that's all there is to it. Okay, we're coming up to the point where we started. We've sewn all the way around. I want to get it a little bit closer to that. And I want to leave about 1 inch or so. And I'm going to do some reversing here. Okay, we're going to take it out of the machine and we're going to take it over to our chair.
We'll be tensioning the shock cord to hold the cover securely in place over the seat.
All right, we've got the cover turned right side out, and I'm just going to take the chair, or I guess it's a chair, and put it in. Oof. Okay, so it's in correctly because this is the back. And what I want to do is I want to tension up the shock cord. Remember, we have it tight on one side, and the sleeve will definitely shrink up, and you'll need to move the sleeve around as you pull the shock cord. So see, all this will need to be moved all the way around to the side. So keep pulling this out. You want it to shrink up until you get a good fit. Something that's going to hold snug, but something that's still easy to put on your chair, so you can put your cover on quickly, because you don't want a cover that goes on super hard, otherwise you won't use it. And that's probably going to be tensioned about right, but I had to get a second helper to run this fabric around, because I can't hold the shock cord and run the fabric around. There we go. That's getting better. I think that's pretty good. So now I know where I want to sew it under tension, and I'm going to hold it and take it off, because I could clip it, but I don't think the clip will hold. So I'm just going to take it off and hold it tight here. And we're going to take it to the machine and sew it there. With the shock cord held under tension, what I want to do is I want to get this close to the fold and smooth out my assembly and still hold it under tension. Okay, then you want to get it in underneath the foot of the machine, and I'm going to sew mine with a zigzag. I'm still holding it under tension. I don't think I'm in my shock cord. Hold on. Gotta lift it up here, and we gotta push it in there. You don't have to sew right next to where the other one ended. You just got to make sure you sew through it. Okay, there, I'm in it, and I'm going to sew forward and in reverse, locking it down well. And that should do it. Now I don't have to hold it under tension anymore. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip this end off, right like that. Tuck that in there, and then we're going to close up this part where we stop sewing here with a zigzag stitch. Doing a little bit of reversing over top that reversing that we did do, and then we're going to sew right where we began sewing, and just do a little bit of reversing there. And now we are done. Shock cord goes from here and starts there. Now what I like to do is I like to find the front of the cover and put a tag on it so I know what the front is quickly when I want to install it, which is right here. And in the center position, I'm going to splay it out flat, and then I'm going to take a tag and I'm going to put it right underneath here, making sure that I don't sew through the shock cord. So I'm going to sew it right here. There we go. Now I can always tell what the front of the cover is.
This cover is very easy to place over our seat and to remove it.
All right, our cover is done, and this is the way it should go on. It's just on a pedestal that I made up. It starts from the back, comes over the top, swing it up like that. There we go. Nice fit, easy to put on. Sweet. If you'd like to see how we made a vinyl cover for the seat bottom and seat back of this folding fishing boat seat, we have a link in the description below that'll show you exactly how we did that. And we also replaced the foam in the seat bottom, and we show you how to do that in the tutorial video as well, so check it out.
Check out the full materials and tools list in the description below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe and click the bell to be notified of new tutorial videos when they become available. Currently, we are trying to reach 500,000 subscribers. We'd appreciate your help. I'm Eric Grant, and from all of us here at Sailrite, thanks for watching.